And taking a deep breath in and exhaling and just giving yourself a welcome on your mat this morning, just a sign of gratitude to yourself for being here on time and being enthusiastic, and a feeling of appreciation for having done that for yourself. Notice whatever comes up with that. And noticing the qualities that are around. Are you warm enough? How do you feel in contact with the ground or your cushion? Any movements that you need to make to find your centre of gravity? Just going ahead to do that. And as you just start to sense into your body, notice any other movements that want to happen. So somebody was talking about stretching out and being stretched, and as we start to become aware of what's there this morning and maybe then our needs, our body's wise, it starts to bring us there and show us the places that need attention. And then see if you can settle a little more stillness. Is there a need for a deep breath in through the nose and an open mouth exhale or sigh? And sensing into the qualities that are more internal. Anything that's on your mind, anything that might be energetic, almost round all of your energy, anything that's physical that you've brought along to work with this morning. We're coming to a place of groundedness before we start to move. So just noting any qualities without doing too much deep exploration. And then using your breath as a focus point. Just begin to deepen and lengthen your breath. Noticing if you can allow yourself a soft abdominal area, like a Buddha belly, we say. So there's no holding there. And so as you breathe in, you can just really spill over and expand without any judgment. And then a gentle contraction. A natural movement that allows the air to squeeze out again. Each breath in, new inspiration, and each breath out, the chance to ground and center yourself a little bit more. So I'll just let you have a few moments, a few cycles of breath without me talking, just to feel that. Allowing your breath to become more automatic, wherever that is now. And slowly opening your eyes. And just giving your hands and wrists a little shake if that's available to you. And so working with our yoga practice, whatever we need to bring, and so if that's not available to you, just notice what comes up, any frustration, any impatience. It too shall pass. It's a temporary thing. And just allowing your hands just to fall back onto your thighs. Let's do a little bit of stretching with the head. So as you extend your spine upwards, just dropping your chin onto your chest. Notice where you feel that in your shoulders, if there's a need to turn your hands open, and take 2 breaths just into that stretch. So almost inhaling yourself taller and exhaling the chin towards the chest, bringing a gentle stretch into the back of your neck. Maybe the belly's scooped in 2, so allow the belly to be relaxed, and then you'll land in the right position. And then we're going to circle the chin over to the right side, but we're still looking forward. So if you were to look towards me, that my eyes and face are forward and the stretch is happening just down the left side of the neck. And just allowing that to be a gentle stretch. Inhale, as you exhale, circle through the middle, over to the other side, letting both shoulders drop away from your ears. And noticing how your neck is this morning. We're going to go slowly with the breath. Inhale, exhale, circle to the other side. And we're just doing a semicircle really. We're not going all the way crunching around the back of the neck. So just gentle inhale and exhale. Notice if you want to go too fast, because when you slow down you'll be able to really sense into any tightness there or real sensations. The next time that your head is on the right side, take your right arm and just lay it on top of your head there, just kind of floppy, dangle the arm there, and just make some movement into your left shoulder. So we're giving an extra gentle stretch to the neck, and we're just coming into this shoulder. Where's the movement here in the left shoulder, what's available to us, and then change direction. and some gentle movement. And then let that shoulder rest down. Feel how the arm on top just affects the stretch. If it's too much, just letting your arm come back down again. Inhale and exhale, just let the arm float down. Inhale again and exhale over to the other side. Remember your spine's lengthened, so we get the full possibilities from the stretch. And then we lay that hand, the left hand, over our head, nice and floppy. Notice what it's done to your breathing. I'm saying that because I can feel that I'm holding my breath there. Exhale, and as you exhale, this shoulder drops away from the ear. Notice any difference between the left side and the right side. And then we're going to move this shoulder gently. And change direction. Okay, and then resting the arm down. Just a couple more breaths into this position. And then releasing the arm away. Circle your chin back into the center. Pause there for a moment. Inhale, and as you exhale, lifting up, lifting your eyes up towards the sky. Bringing your hand towards your throat with a gentle massage around your throat, helping your nervous system to come to regulate and relax. And then opening and closing your jaw, so really making faces up towards the sky. Open your jaw and your mouth and all of those muscles around your face. Okay, and then just gazing up towards the sky and using your chin to guide yourself back to the horizontal. Let your eyes close for a moment and notice if there's any space around your neck. So moving your block away, bring your feet out in front of you, knees a bit wider and feet a bit wider than the hips. We're going to open up the hips and the legs. Inhale, and as you exhale, drop knees over towards the left side. And inhale back to center, exhale towards the right side. And then adjust your legs so that you can drop your knees onto the ground. It might roll you forward. Inhale and exhale, and you can go at your own speed, toning the buttocks here. Beginning to stretch through the belly area. And then we're going to add the arm, so we're over to the left side, it's the right arm that comes up and we can swing it all the way up to the corner of the room. Inhale and exhale to the other side. So we're talking about stretching the whole body, we're stretching down the side. So again, we're soothing the nervous system. Stretching the spine, but also stretching the channel down the sides of our bodies that holds on to stress. Let your breath deepen, just go a little bit quicker if you want to, making it a little bit more of a paragraph. And yeah, if your wrist is not available to you, then just make the movement more forward, perhaps just using your knees. That's for Diane. If your hand's not available, there's always a modification. So you're going to be able to be creative and find your own modifications. And to know that you can still follow your yoga practice. Okay, we're going to come back to the centre. And then we're going to drop the knees over to the right. So it's important that your feet are wide as possible. This back foot can be tucked under or open, whichever. We're going to do the dolphin stretch. So a lovely stretch for the length of the spine. So we put the hands at either side of this bent knee. And then we're going to dive down, diving down close to your knee if possible. And then we're going to lengthen the spine, looking with our eyes up towards the sky. And then almost like we're making a circle, let's say with our chin. So if we lead with our chin, imagine that the chin is drawing a circle. And with that, the spine circling. The shoulders are circling. And play with this movement. Can you make it a big movement? Can you bring in more parts of your body? We're taking the weight onto your arms and elbows. And so we're doing some lovely weight bearing, good for our bones. It's a version of the spinal series, so a little bit like the cat and the dog movement on our spine. And just the last two, really going down as close to your leg as you can, slowing down, lengthening the spine, pressing the belly back so we don't get too mechanical and we're really feeling into that movement and hopefully bringing our mind, drawing our mind into the movement. So the next time that you come up, we're going to put the feet out to the front, the easiest way to come to the other side, and then open the feet, drop our knees to the right side, bring our weight forward so we can put the hands either side of this right knee. Okay, and then we're going to dive down close to your leg, lengthening your spine and finding your own way of being in this movement. Notice if it becomes mechanical. Bring your awareness to it. Okay, and two more big circles. Lead with your chin. Make them as big as possible. Yeah. Okay, and then coming to stillness there. And I was just noticing something that was coming up there. I'm thinking about coming up to standing. I usually come up from my left side, so I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to come up from my right side. So just rolling yourself onto your knees, curling your toes under, and then just lifting yourself up to standing. Okay, so let's do some movements for the for opening the arms and the lungs. So we're going to make a bowl in front of our lungs, like we often think of the chi, the vital energy being kind of filling a bowl. So it's the bowl in front of our lungs. So we're going to exhale, stretch the hands, stretch the fingers out level with the shoulders. And then inhale, scoop that lovely prana into the front of our lungs. Inhale and stretch. And exhale. And hold it. And when you've got this movement, you might want to close your eyes and just feel yourself scooping in fresh energy. Let the breath be as long and slow as possible, so it's going to slow the movement down. And just imagine your lungs there. They're like big pockets. The colour to link with the lungs would be the white colour, the metallic element. And so like fluffy clouds, and we're filling them with lots of breath right to all those little branches, the ends of our bronchi, to give ourselves the biggest amount of oxygen and boosting our immune system, boosting our circulation. And just imagine that our lungs, or visualize our lungs are at either side of our heart, so each time our lungs fill, it's almost like we're getting our heart massaged as well, and the heart protector, so the membrane around the heart. It's just a visual you can play with to just imagine all of that lovely circulation happening. Okay, and the next one's going to be the last stretch, so just stretching the fingers away and then holding that bowl of chi just right there in front of your lungs. We are going to the heart energy. So our heart energy stretches from the armpit to the end of the little finger. So if we're talking about stretches, we're going to bring our hands together in front of our heart space. Inhale, and as we exhale, we start to make the hands flat away from us and then stretch the arms out and press out to the side. So this time our hands are flexed, if that's available to us. We're going to inhale and bring that energy into our heart. And we exhale, so I'm doing it really slowly. You might need to take an extra breath somewhere. And opening not only our physical heart, but our heart space, our heart energy. Notice if you can sense the stretch down to your little finger. Almost like you can stretch it a little bit more as you're in the stretch position. And this would be a way to work with low mood or depression, because that often sits in our heart channel. So we want to be keeping this channel open. You might notice that if you're feeling a little bit low down, that as you start to move, things can change. So we want to encourage that stretch and opening of the flow of the energy in the body. If it feels comfortable, let your eyes close as you do this. So you can just become more internal Noticing what pops into your mind, just labelling that and then letting it float past, coming back to the movement. Okay, and 2 more rounds. And then just finishing with your hands together in front of your heart in the Angeli Mudra. So we'd have our little fingers joined and our thumbs joined, and maybe just a little space in the middle of between the hands. Just take a moment to feel the energy that's flowing in your body, and releasing your hands down, shaking out anything that needs to shake, taking a big step to the side. And let's come into the legs. So we're going to just do the skater's stretch, just stretching alternate legs, noticing where you feel it. And normally feeling this on the inside of our legs. I'm feeling it down the back of my legs as well today, so it's just indicating that there's a need for this stretch. And add as many sighs as you want to as you start to release what's holding in the muscles, holding in the membranes. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to come into a forward fold, and then we're going to come into the warrior one from the ground up. So bend your knees, roll yourself forward, and just let your head roll forward. Knees are bent so that your fingers can come towards the floor. As your fingers touch the floor, just allow your upper body to roll, stretching through your spine. And then begin to walk your hands around to your right foot. As you do that, turn the right foot out, the knee is at an angle. So to be able to come into this from the ground, we need to really feel the ground, almost like the ground is bouncing us and lifting us up. Like juicy, bouncy ground underneath us. So back leg straight, toes turned inwards towards the front leg. And let's do this, practice this with the foot on the ground. Look down to your front foot and see if you can just pick your toes up off the floor and spread some space in between them. And then land the foot on the floor, making sure that the angle of the knee is over the ankle and not forward of the ankle. And then bring your torso to face that bent knee. Going to inhale the arms up above your shoulders, and then relax your shoulders down away from your ears. So just giving you a moment to feel into your posture. No hollow in your back, so bringing the tailbone under just to take away any hollow in the back. Gazing straight ahead. Smiling into the strength of the warrior pose. And as you inhale, almost a lift upwards. And as you exhale, settling in to the solid base of the warrior one. If you need to do this one-handed, just go ahead and do that. Just rest that hand onto your knee, onto your thigh. Can we take 2 more full deep breaths here? Feel the strength, feel the stamina building in your legs. And then let's bring our arms, float our arms down, coming into the flying warrior. So we're going to stretch at an angle, the same angle as our back leg, and let's take our arms into that angle too. So it's just costing us a little bit more core energy to hold in that position. Stretch your fingers out towards the ground at the back. And then exhale to come upright. And then dive down towards your foot, the right foot. One hand on either side. We're going to walk around through the centre, turn your toes to the front. And we're walking around to the left foot. Meanwhile, we're turning the left foot out and preparing to lift yourself up from the ground. It bounces you and lifts you up. Back leg straight, but toes turned in, and positioning your front foot. Okay, look down to your front foot. Lift your toes up towards your face and just see if you can wriggle your toes for a moment. And then place those toes back down on the ground. And feel into your back leg. The back leg wants to be straight. I'm collapsing through my knee a little bit at the moment, so I'm going to press back down towards my heel. Turn your torso towards the front leg. And inhaling your arms up above your shoulders. Lengthen the back of your neck, lift the crown of your head. Smile into that lovely strong warrior pose, the warrior one. It's dynamic, there's always some tiny micro movements to find that place where suddenly you can sink into it. Maybe your eyes close. Two more full deep breaths in and out. And then exhaling your arms down, bringing your torso into a 45-degree angle and just stretching out your arms to the back. So there's still a lift through your belly, but it's not like landing all your weight on your front foot. There's still really a lift coming up from the ground. 2 full deep breaths in here. And then bringing your hands to either side of your left foot and beginning to walk around into the centre. Toes turn to face the front. Take a hold of your elbows and then just let's see if you can, knees are bent, roll forward and use your elbows a bit like a pendulum so that you're just releasing your back where your ribs, shoulder blades, upper back. Okay, and then if you want to try this, we're going to bring our back up to horizontal. So we need to bend our knees, inhale, and as you exhale, lift your arms up and lift your back horizontal with your arms and your head. Do that from the side. So it takes core strength, it takes a lift from your legs. And if that's not available to you, then just resting your hands onto your thighs, feeling that horizontalness of your back. Okay, we're going to lift again. Inhale as you exhale, lifting all the way up. Arms will come above your head. Okay, and then releasing your arms down. Okay, step your feet together and just take in the movement of the energy after the warrior one. Okay, and let's come into the Krishna Pose, so balancing posture. We're taking our right foot and we're turning the knee out, opening the hips here, And we're just pressing the toes onto the ground so that the heel comes against the inside shin. And we're going to bring our right arm up to receive. And we're going to turn our left arm hand out to pass on, to give. So, and then finding your upright position there. So it is a balancing posture, looking straight ahead, keeping your eyes open, but most of all keeping your palms open. The point right in the middle of the hand, kind of the healing point, an acupressure point that links with heart energy. So allowing ourselves to open our heart. You can imagine the diagonal opening there. And as you breathe into this posture, feel an expansion between the two palms. Almost like the protector around the heart is just getting a little bit more space and a little bit more flexibility. Let's do this in the other direction. So let your arms rest down, bring your foot to the floor. And then turning your left foot out, coming onto your toes, heel just resting on the inside of your ankle. And it's really counterintuitive to lift up my left hand, so we're going to carry on with the right hand up and the left hand open. We've just changed our legs. Notice if you can take 3 full deep yogic breaths into this position. And then releasing the hands down. Stepping your feet together. Close your eyes. Notice the energy from the Krishna Pose. And let's do some movement with our pelvis. So step your feet aside. Let's go straight into a figure of 8. So we're going to bring the pelvis forward and round to the right side and back and through the centre and round to the left side. You're making a figure of 8 almost with your tailbone there. I'll show it from the front. So we kind of make a pelvic movement through the middle. And imagine that figure of 8 being something where our legs are in the hoops of the 8, if that makes any sense. And then just let your arms relax. So notice if it's a bit creaky, not very smooth, and perhaps it's about adjustments with your feet or just breathing, just going into the movement. Really great movement for all our lower organs, our reproductive organs and our hips, to free up any energy that might be blocked there. Okay, then we're going to change direction. We're going to make the movement backwards. And so the pelvic movement goes back and then makes the figure of 8. So just noticing how your brain reacts to that change. And let your shoulders be kind of floppy. anatomy, they say that the shoulders and the hips are very similar. They're kind of similar shapes. If you think of the pelvic bones and the shoulder blades, that if we've got tension in our shoulder, we very often get tension in our hips. And sometimes you're familiar with that when you get a shiatsu and go into your hips or your buttocks, and you feel the tension there that you might not have felt. We tend to feel our tension in our shoulders. It's very present and involved with our head. And I just notice as I'm talking, I'm completely moving away from what's going on in my body. So just do that in silence for a few more moves. Lovely. Okay, bringing that to stillness and stepping your feet together. Okay, and again, just giving yourself a moment to feel the energy there. And just before we come to the ground, I want to practice another standing posture, standing back bend. So finding your Tadasana, I'm going to face the side, feeling the bounciness and the support of the ground. Engaging your legs, lengthening your spine, and then noticing that your legs are not locked. So there's a gentle unlocking of the legs. Bring your hands into your lower back. So they're really supporting there, just in that groove, resting on your hip bones. And coming into this just to a place that feels comfortable. And again, if one arm's not available to you, then perhaps you could do something more like resting on your wrists, just watching that you don't overstretch your lower back. So we're going to do this just simply by lengthening the spine and tucking your chin to your chest and just leaning into your elbows at the back. Remember, don't lock your knees. So we're just leaning with our shoulder blades, the back of our shoulders, into the support of our hands. Take 2 breaths in there. Notice where the breath is a little bit restricted in this position. And then if it feels comfortable, looking up with your eyes towards the ceiling. And going to a place there within your limits today, not overstretching. Keep pressing into your lower back. Maybe stretching through your neck. And then to come out, all we do is move the chin towards the chest. It's that simple. Just to straighten our back. Release your hands down and just pause for a moment, feeling the energy of the back bend. It can be very energetic back bends, so like a cobra pose. We might not do those before we go to bed at night. Okay, we're going to come down to the ground, so tuck your chin onto your chest, bend your knees, roll yourself down and come down onto your back, hug your knees into your chest. And just so that we can take a moment's rest, either resting your arms next to your body or just resting your hands onto your knees. And then inhale as you exhale, pressing your hands onto your knees just to squash your belly, squeeze, lengthen the spine through the sacrum, through to the tailbone. And then release. Inhale and release. Do that a few times. Exhale and press. And inhale and release. And exhale and press. And inhale and release. And then drop your left foot to the floor. Bring your right ankle onto the outside of the left knee. Take your right hand and just press that leg away from you, the right knee away from you. So feeling into the hip here, the right hip. Excuse me. And then lift your left foot off the floor. Bring one hand through the middle, take hold of the back of the left thigh and just bring that thigh towards you. Your head rests back on the ground for a moment. So arms are straight. Inhale, and it's on the exhale that you can lift that thigh back towards you. Inhale and release. And exhale, gently stretch, noticing where you feel it. Inhale and release. And exhale and stretch. And on the next inhale, just moving your forehead up towards your ankle. Shoulders relaxed, spine rounded. Two full deep breaths in and out. And then exhaling back down to the floor. Opening your arms out wide. And with lots of awareness, just rolling your legs over to the right side. Let your head roll in that direction too. We're just coming into a variation on a knee down twist. It might be that your legs don't go close to the floor. You could get a cushion or a block and you could just roll onto the block there and see how much of your body you can relax in that position. So to lift, we're going to need to have some core strength, or to use our hands. Inhale, lift the legs back up to centre and roll them over to the opposite side. You could take your block with you and just drop those knees onto the block. And again, listening into your lower back. If your lower back needs any support, then don't go all the way over. Just supporting your knees with a block so that you're not overstretching here in your lower back. You could bring your feet to the floor. And then inhale back up to centre. And exhale, bringing both of your feet back onto the ground. Just feeling in to your hips. Take your left ankle onto the top of the right knee. And just taking your left hand to press that knee away from you. Whew. Notice how it attaches to your abdominal area, to your lower back, to your spine. And then lifting the right leg up, hands behind your thigh, and just lifting that knee towards you. And then next time you're squeezing the knee towards you, Inhale and lift your forehead up towards your ankle. Relax your elbows and your forehead, your neck. And then from here, we're going to bring the foot back down to the ground. And we're going to open the legs, open your arms out level with your shoulders and just roll your knees over to the outside, to the left, putting a block underneath so that you don't overstretch. So first of all, we're going out to the left side. And then we're going to inhale back up and we're going to roll the legs over to the right side. Using the block to get yourself comfortable. And then with awareness, lifting your knees back up, unhooking your legs, give your knees a bit of a shake. And just pausing for a moment to feel the twist. Okay, so we're coming into the bridge pose. So knees are bent, feet hip width apart, hands down by your hips. Inhale, and as you exhale, lifting the hips up towards the sky, tucking your chin. On the next exhale, lifting your hips a little bit higher. Pausing in a place that's comfortable, adjusting anything that needs to be adjusted. Inhale, as you exhale, lifting, maybe walking your shoulder blades underneath you to interlace your fingers or to take hold of the tie underneath you, between your hands. Lengthen your arms, knuckles pressed down towards the heels. And notice yourself lifting through your heart space up towards the sky, lifting through your front hips. And allow yourself to breathe in and breathe out. And maybe there's an urge to fall out of the posture. Just notice if your breath can allow you to override that and just stay with the posture. 2 more full deep breaths in and out. Let your hands separate. Bring yourself very slowly down from the top of your spine to your sacrum. And just allowing everything to rest on the ground. Almost that you keep sinking into that bouncy ground. So we're going to move into Shavasana. If there's any other movement that you want to make before we go into Shavasana, just go ahead and respond to what your body needs. And as you're ready, stretching out your legs, stretching out your arms. Let your eyes close. And feel how the movement, the stretching, the being aware of your body has brought it to a place of relaxation, letting all of your muscles, joints, any holding, letting it all go now. The body's relaxed. Noticing if you've drawn your mind down into your body. Any thoughts that are still fluttering, let them just flutter on past and enjoy a few moments of